Making identifications is one of the most useful things you can do as an iNaturalist user. As good as the built-in artificial intelligence is at identifying the species you've observed, it is based on the identifications already in the system and is therefore only as good as the identifications people make. Observations that reach research grade status are also shared with the Global Biodiversity Information Facility, a resource that is heavily used by scientists. An observation can only reach research grade when at least two-thirds of the identifications provided by two or more users agree on the species. So helping make these identifications is a vital part of making iNaturalist observations as useful as possible. You can make identifications on the app or the website. Let's look at the app first. I'm showing you the iPhone version of the app, but the Android app works very similarly. First, I want to narrow down the observations to the City Nature Challenge project in my area. I do that by tapping the More button and finding the project. I have joined the project, so it appears on my list of projects, but you can use the search function at the top of the page to find it if you have not joined. Tap the project once you've found it. This brings up the project on my screen. I can scroll through the images until I see a species I know how to identify, like this deep yellow euglena. I open the observation by tapping on the image. Once opened, I see the photo and a list of all of the identifications already made. This observation has only a single identification, the one by the original observer. I can add another observation one of two ways. If I agree with the identification already made, I can tap the Agree button to add the same identification to the observation. Or I can tap the Suggest ID button to add any identification. When I tap the Suggest ID button, the artificial intelligence system gives me suggestions exactly the same way as if you were submitting an observation, and I can choose one of the suggestions it provides. I can also look up another species entirely by typing it into the search bar at the top of the screen and choosing that option when it appears. Either way, tap Save and you'll see your observation added at the bottom of the main observation screen. By adding my identification, this observation has now become research grade because at least two-thirds of the identifiers agree on the ID. You can make identifications on whichever species you feel confident in your ability to ID, but most people do not add additional identifications if there are already a half dozen or more and they all agree on the species. Unfortunately, the app does not let you filter observations that still need identifications, so you'll have to click on the observations one by one and see if they are already heavily identified or not. You also cannot filter by taxon, project, and/or the dates in the app. This is where the website comes in handy. To make identifications on the website, visit inaturalist.org and log in. Find the project by hovering your mouse over Community and then click Projects. If you've joined the City Nature Challenge project in your area, find it by clicking Manage My Projects and clicking on the project name. Otherwise, search for the project in the search bar. Click the Observations tab and then the Identify button. This will bring up all the observations that still need identifications. You can either scroll through the images and find species that you recognize, or you can click the Filters button to narrow down the options. If I want to look at insects only, for example, I can click the Insect button at the top of the Filters box and then click Update Search at the bottom, and I will see only the insects that need identifications. I can scroll through the images to find one I know, like this bumblebee. If I tap on the image, it will bring up the observations so that I can see which IDs have already been made. This bee was identified as only a bumblebee by two people, but an American bumblebee by a third. I agree that it is an American bumblebee, so I can either click Agree or the Add ID button to add my identification, just as you would with the app. Continue making as many identifications as you'd like, or choose other filters to look for more images that still need IDs. By making identifications for the City Nature Challenge, you not only help make the iNaturalist AI identification tool even better, but you also help improve the species count for your region. Making identifications is quick and easy, so I hope you'll consider spending a few minutes improving your region's City Nature Challenge contributions by adding identifications.